again. Switch you guys. You're going to go here because you fit in there so nicely. Yeah. You're going to go down. All right, come on over here. Right here. Okay, like we talked about in the beginning, first of all was the hello, goodbye, the applications for that. First one we talked about was if somebody was going to grab you, how you could just do the twisted body hello. Even if you missed the block and you didn't get it up in time, go ahead. We talked about the stepping off to the side or moving at the same time, turning your body to help the block, to help give the block a little energy. So again, make sure you turn it this way. Then the next move would have been grabbing. So the habit should be, as soon as this happens here, the turn, immediately grab if you can. Because once you're grabbing, you have enough control to be able to throw in an elbow, to hit with a palm strike like we talked about, or just, if you didn't know it, just bring your arm up as hard as you can, up into the face, or strike into the face this way. But what we want to do, and what we talked about doing here, is when we have this, as you're twisting and do the grab, keep moving. As I do that and twist, I try and turn the arm because his momentum is already moving this way, and it's easier to move him when he's already in motion. So once this happens, then we can throw in that elbow or the hand, whichever one, or both. This, and if the hand misses, you have the elbow to twist to this position here, which is the running man stance we talked about with the knee bent. So as we hit, we want to twist and drop that knee down like that. And then from here, what we probably should do is throw in that kick and run off. So again, if they go to grab or they go to hit, we want to get that motion here. If you don't get a chance to grab, you can still throw in the elbow. And then smack the elbow down, hit the head, and still run. Come in and throw in that roundhouse kick we talked about to the back of the leg. Slap them in the head. Whatever naturally comes out at that moment, but as long as you're throwing something and you're moving and doing generally what we showed you, it's better than doing nothing at all. The other application for that would be from a hand grab. If they should grab to pull, we don't want to try and resist, as I talked about before. Resisting just makes it stronger, makes the grip all that much stronger, especially if it's somebody a little bit bigger. So, again. So hopefully somebody's even approaching you. You're going to be more in the defense. But if they should catch you off guard, grab this way, and they before they even get a chance to pull you, what you want to do is take that step, a little slight step off to the side, and that twist of the body. If you don't get the step in, okay, as long as you get the twist of the body, that's what's most important. The immediate twist of the body, fingers open up, hello, and do this. We keep the momentum going by stepping back with the right foot, like we talked about, that arcing sweep around 90 degrees, and drop down to the ground. Kick, stomp, and run. Kind of like the show stop. Okay. So it doesn't matter which wrist they grab, it's still going to be the same motion. If they should grab the other wrist and you want to do, you know the hello, it's still hello, and grab this way. Now, as you can see, that opens the person up. If he's experienced, he's expecting it, of course, he probably would come in with something like that. But, hopefully you're not going to be standing there as this is happening, because the drill is to do the sweeping motion, grab the wrist, and in this case, instead of stepping back, we don't want to step away from it, we want to step forward, step in it, with the hand wide open, slap as hard as you can, hitting in the side of the neck, only on this side. And with the hand open, it can just wrap around and we step back. Once again, kicking. And maybe kicking again. And if he's your son, kicking one more time. So, regardless of you only practicing one side, which I recommend you do both, but you're always going to have that one side you're used to doing everything, and that's why you specifically should practice the other side. But if he grabs like this and this doesn't come to mind, we didn't go over it, but there's no reason you still can't step back and just hit down. Step back and hit down as you pull your arm back. From here, you're already in position and you're wound up to just swing, hit, roundhouse kick like we talked about, and run. You're going to have a little time recovering from an unexpected kick to the thigh. If you're expecting it, it's one thing. If you're not, it's pretty devastating. So, one more time. This is the hello. Now, in this case, we didn't go over the divide, the opposite of that. If we did, the opposite would be still keeping the arm tucked in nicely. So keeping the arm tucked in nicely like this. Let's do it to the other side. Would be up like this. See that? Boom. So up here. Now in this case, we talked briefly about the peel. We didn't get a chance to work on it much. But once you have them up in this position here, the thumb and the fingers, the thumb goes here, and just kind of like between the webbing of these two fingers, the thumb and the forefinger kind of goes right there. And these three fingers, or if you can't, try and get the wrist and the side of the palm. And as you're coming up, you want to bring it into you, not out, but you want to pull and bring it into you. And that puts them in this peel position. And here we are again, where you can hit down with it and kick. Step over, kick, and run. Always hit and run. You don't want to stay there battling in there. From this side, it's again here. And I always start that little turn with the body, up here like this. Fingers open, thumb out, here, and immediately. Now, as I'm doing this, because of all this open space here, he's not expecting me to do anything at all. So to slap as I'm doing it and come down and grab is only like a little caveat. Now, as I'm coming up to make this release extra hurtful, see where the thumb is here? As I have my fingers wrapped here, I can snap that a little bit harder to increase the pain as I'm bringing it around and in and down. And I can hang on to it or I can let it go, but I want to kind of keep in control as long as I can to make this a little bit more effective, because then I can come in and hit here or hit here, but then always leave the seam. And we discussed, once you do that in a kick or two, you probably need to stop, because you're changing the situation from a self-defense to an aggressive attack. And that would be bad, okay? So, next applications that we talked about, or techniques that we talked about, were the choke from the front. One, I think, double. So from this position, if he's choking pretty hard, you can see he can choke me pretty hard. You can see he's a pretty big guy. So really, choke me kind of hard. So I can still just turn and walk away with doing absolutely nothing, because he's not expecting me to just turn and walk away. They're expecting you to stay there and be strangled, because they think they're in that much control. He was pretty big, and he was holding on pretty tight. And even if it was a little bit tighter, and he doesn't know, I can still do that. But I want to make this as easy as possible for me, and it's hard for him. So when he is strangling, and he is doing anything like that, immediately, like I said, what we want to do is try and alleviate some of that pressure to the neck. And by doing that, we want to come up and slam our hand down, our palm, basically, right on this part of the arm. Okay? And as we're slamming that down here, like that, we're going to take, this is the case where this arm can come up somewhat. But you know what? I prefer in this case, because of the position he is now, instead of bringing it around like that, is I like it still tucked in here, because now as he's already going where I want, when I step around and I hit him here and he goes down, I still have nice control and got a nice kick I can finish with here. Football kick, another football kick, and step up. So from this side, with that, looks like again with just here, slam down on it and try and pin it into you hard as you can, and immediately following that, your other hand can come around with your leg, slapping and pushing down like this. If you have some control of the arm, always pull it up and kick to the face or neck, and then get out of there. One hand choke, if it was a one hand choke this way, pretty much do the exact same thing, only without having to worry about coming up and over. We could still hammer down on the arm with this and in close. And if you do it hard with this part right here, not here, it hits right on a nice pressure point there. And this is going to smack around as hard as you can to the side of the neck. Let's do that to this. It's gonna, as I come around, slam down here, it's going to go here and slap and try over that. Kick and just keep going. Sorry, buddy. It's in this case we were talking about a chop versus a slap, and I'd say the smaller you are, the more you want to go towards a chop. If this was pretty much equals, and I was just as big of a guy, and I didn't want to hurt him as badly, I may go with the slap and just concuss him instead of maybe break something, because why kill somebody if you can only hurt them? Don't hurt them if you can just talk to them and don't, approach it at all if you don't have to. So regardless of that, the key points in this are is to immediately come around with that there's the inside move and then there's the outside, and hammer down on that and get it in nice and tight, which immediately turns them. And then we're in a wound up position here already. Using this right foot, push off that foot as you hit, and I'm turning my hand because I'm keeping this in tight and hitting at the same time. If by some chance he's not quite going down, you can take that roundhouse kick, and kind of help it along there. But you won't need to. You won't need to. All right, so that covers the choke. Now, those techniques, shoulder grab, can be applied to this too. Lapel grab can be applied, same technique, that as well. What we didn't cover, and it was in case they grabbed you by the hair, but it's a very similar technique. So he's just going to put his hand on my head, simulating grabbing my hair, because not everybody has bald, but in this case, if you're a girl or a guy who doesn't have a bald head, what you want to do is slam that hand down again, right into your head as hard as you can, pinning it down. And the whole idea is to pin it down. You can pin it down with your right, or you can pin it down with your left. But as you pin it down, what you want to do is drop your chin to your chest and drop straight back. And as you do that, you want to try and pull it off, knee to the face. Knee. And if he goes down, knee, then kick to the groin. Again, the hands come up, one and then the other. If it was this way, it's still down, chin to your chest like that. If you can think about it, if you can put your hand on the back of his head, that's even better. And then knee right between the shoulder and the head. Because if you knee his head, you probably would break your knee. Kneeing his face is much spongier. The other application you could do, if he grabs that up here, would be to pin it the same way. Point, pin with the right hand, come up with with the left hand, only this time I'm grabbing, holding it in tight, and just step. And it's similar to what we did before. Here in this position, you can stomp, you can knee, you can kick, stomp on the arm, and run. That's not a technique we went over, but I thought I would show you while we were conveniently there. Okay, choke from behind. Let's stand this way. There's two types of chokes. We didn't cover this one choke. If you should end up in this position as opposed to the next one that we'll show you. It's the same motion as the choke from the front. Instead of doing this forward, we do this backwards. And as we do it, just wrap that arm right around. And instead of hitting now, what you want to do is use the elbow here. And elbow right down to the ground. If you hold this tight, you can come in and just hold him here and keep kneeing him. But we don't want to stay there doing stuff, giving him an opportunity to grab it. So best to just knock it down. Boom. Stomp on it. Stomp on it. Stomp on it. And then stomp on it maybe one more time. But like I said, you don't want to get too aggressive with that. So again, from behind. Let's do the other side. From behind. It would be see how I start to twist with the body? We don't need to know what side's on. We know where his hands are at. So immediately we want to just take one full 180-degree turn back. Whip this arm around as hard as you can, and as you're whipping it around, try and wrap it around to here. And this arm is here, so you have a lot of momentum building up into this. Oh, kick and run. So that's the one we didn't cover. Didn't have time. The one that you're familiar with would be choke. The other choke, one hand. From this choke. Turn the head immediately. I'm already in my defensive position here, so let's assuming I'm in this position. And he comes up and chokes me. I turn my head immediately into the crease of his arm, and my two hands come up and try and pull down. When he does that, then I can get my head up. So once I turn to here and I get the arm down, I free my head, I can have it up. I want to step off to the side and put him out like this. And then once I have him here, just stand up, just flip him right over. Boom. And believe me, it's a matter of leverage at that point. Just a pop, just straighten the legs up and dump your shoulder. And he'll go.
I'm 250.
And he's 250. So he'll go over. And you guys lifted me up last time, and I'm 180. So I know that you can do that. So one more time from this position. Grab. Turn. No, let's do it on this. So you can see. Come up and grab it. Turn my head this way and pull down immediately. As soon as that gives me something, I want to step down a little bit, butt out, throw, stop, kick, and go. If you find yourself not able to get to the position that you need to be, and you can't get him up in the air, you can still drop to the knee and just try and dump him off to the side and fall right up and fall on him elbow first. With your elbow digging in, it gives you a lot of pain-inducing power. So if he's in this position, and I'm struggling, and I can't get that pop up for whatever reason, but if you pop your butt out, it's gonna break him down. But if you can't get this motion going, you can always drop to the knee and dump your shoulder that way. If he doesn't fall right off gingerly, and you find yourself going with him, just lead with the elbow, and you'll see that's very painful.
Doesn't feel good.
Very, very painful. Okay, so that covers the chokes from the front and from the back. Okay, next we talked about the bear hugs. So the bear hugs from the front, they're pretty simple. Let's get in this position right here. He comes up and grabs over the arms this way, grab right to the groin, squeeze hard as you can, driving your chin into his into his shoulder or wherever you can and try and drive. Pull back as hard as you can. And with the back of your hand or your wrist, slap as hard as you can right into the face. And you can step up in, throw the kick if you want to, or that straight kick. Again. Here, step back, pull. Bam, right to the face. Right up to the face. The other option was knee to the groin, and as I do that, arms come back, as the knee's up. As I'm stepping down, jab up. Feel that? With these parts of your knuckles. Just right up like that. So it's this position. He grabs. Up into the knee, and then down. Straight in. 1, 2, another one. Other side. I feel effective.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Knee, as I'm stepping down, and my arms come back. As I step down, straight up. Elbows in it, hard as you can up. With this part. And then, okay. So that was bear hug over the arms. Now, under the arms, perfect scenario. What if he doesn't have any hair? Okay. Grabs underneath the arms. We want to arms out, real big wind up, slam right in here, right to box those ears in. Now, if we don't hit him in the ears, we can also hit him here, right in the temples. Now, for here, you put your thumbs in the eyes and slam it back. If he doesn't let go, as you slam him back this way, hand up in the air, high as you can, slam right down into the neck, right into the throat. This way you don't have to step out to the side so far. Again. Oh my God! Slam it back, bam, right to there. And then you can throw in the knee. Do that again if you want. But that covers the 2 under. There's many more, but we want to try and do what's most functional and easy, I guess. Also, as far as functionality, breath, without this motion, we could just take our thumb or our forefinger and push back on the nose as well. Now, as we're pushing back with one hand, we can slap or rip with this one. Boom. Push away. Boom. And then hit again. And then hit again. That's a pretty simple one too, but boxing somebody's ears in concusses them. They lose balance. They get nauseous. They'll puke on you. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But they'll be disoriented. If you hit them here in the temples, in these points right here, these pressure points, just right off to the below the eyebrows end, some indentations there, or generally in the temple, it's going to hurt a lot too. But in there, it's going to concuss the brain as well. To give the opportunity to nice big wound up, boom, into the. If you don't find yourself doing this big movement, that doesn't mean that you can't do little shots to the throat or hit to the throat or rip to the throat. Remember, it's your life we're talking about. So as one hand's pushing back, doesn't mean you can't grab or just shove these knuckles again, boom, right into his throat. Boom, back fist. So those are your options. That's from the front. Back over the arms. This is key. Now he has me pretty tight. Like I say, he's a little on the thin side. We were worried about him as a kid, but he's still pretty skinny. But he's strong. So when somebody this skinny but yet strong grabs you, they can be let's help this movement along. I'm slightly off balance, so to try and fix my balance, I just immediately slam my head back, drop down, crossing my arms and lifting all at the same time. So I'm going to drop down to my fighting stance, but I'm going to cross my arms as I'm lifting. Now when that happens, elbow straight back, nice little pop. Doesn't matter, don't look for where he's at, whatever. As those arms lift and you create that space, strike back with the Kia. Boom. Now from here, I told you, just slide the leg over this way and step right behind it. And you don't have to do much of anything else, except roundhouse to the groin. So, great wrestling move as well, only without the other hurting element. lift and cross, this up, elbow, step back around, and down. If you're here and it's not deep enough for him to go down, remember the running man position we talked about? Turn like this. When he turns down like that, you turn your knee, it drops his knee right down. And then if you want, drop right into his body here with an elbow, or an elbow, slap to the back of the neck with a palm. Any of those options. Let's do that from this side. Here, drop down. But, come back up. You can also pull the leg out. Thanks for following. But he didn't go. So when I went to pull the leg out, he was so dug in it didn't move. I'm still in a running position. Run away. You've already got out of the general move. So that was back over, back under. Or I'm sorry, we did back over, now this would be back under. You have pretty much just one option, a couple options here, not one. Hit back, always you have that. If his head is down close, always throw your head back, especially if you feel him near. Crack him in the nose, side of the face, whatever. With these knuckles again, hard as you can. Wham, back of his hand. Boom, as you drop down to that little fighting stance. Boom, elbow, come down, grab that hand immediately. The way we talked about it. Thumb, fingers. And just step around. Boom. Let's do that slowly. He's not letting go. Around. And kick. Stomp. 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 There we go. If he doesn't let go the first time, he's going to let go the second time because that really, really does hurt. If he doesn't, for what? Grab again. None of these techniques are 100%. You do this, you're out. It's all about the intensity that you're going to put into it. So you can't just slap them like this. You've got to hit them hard. Hit it hard. Hit back there really hard. And then if he's still not loosening up, hit, elbow, drop your weight down, drop to that fighting stance, and that pulls his arms apart a bit. Plus, he's been weakened. Let's say, well, what if he picks you up? What if he picks you up? Then you start slamming your feet back into his knees and his thighs. Again, pick me up. Boom, boom, boom. And that's not easy for him to hold me up because I'm kicking away there. So, and then when he drops you down, head, hit, grab the hand that's on. You don't have to necessarily grab the hand that's on top. Because once you hit and you've got your fingers under a wrist, step to that side. If it was this side, I'd go here. Notice how I'm grabbing that thumb in there too for extra pressure around. Whew. Okay. I think we covered front, back,
Under,
over.
Back choke, front choke, double, single.
Air pull.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay. One thing we didn't get to cover with the wrist grabs, I think we did generally. Not if you're in a defensive position this way, they're not going to try and grab your wrist like this. They're going to grab your wrist like that. So in doing that, if they just grab the one wrist like that, you can grab theirs. And as they do this, we're going to take this hand and this leg and shoot it over, just like that, and shoot it just all the way around. If he doesn't go down, fine, but it will release. But the thing is, it's going to put us here to the side. Yeah. You know, or if we keep going, we can stomp his leg and run. So again. Here. There's two versions of this. Here, twisting my body. This would be like the hello version with this hand. Or goodbye. There's hello and then there's goodbye. This would be goodbye. Goodbye here. I'm using my elbow to press it up that way. Hard as you can and go. The other version, if he's extra strong, and he has that, this hand comes up around to help. Now, if he has both hands, because you went like this, one hand's got to go over and one hand's got to go over. So it's going to be and it's going to be goodbye and hello. Like that. I'm just twisting one down and one up. I'm just going to go in a circular motion like this. And as I do that, once I get here, I'm going to step in a nice circular motion around. So I'm in this position. Now from here, I can't elbow him because his big body's in the way. No, you don't have to. It's got to be real, but I can't come in and slap him right in the head. And I can't kick him right here in the leg.
Do it this way. So your body is blocked.
So here, this one drops down, one drops up. See how it throws him off? And then step around like that. Now, I can't elbow him, I can't reach it, but I can go like that. And I can kick him there. Whatever is closest. After each strike, that gives you a split second to look for the next place to strike. And wherever your other hand is, it can always get to where you want to strike next for some reason. If the one move generally works, it sets you up for the next move. Back here again. Also, this should occur, and this probably I should have actually told you maybe even from the first place. You don't have to necessarily wait and try and catch him off guard to do this move through struggling. You want to loosen him up, so to speak, or throw him off guard, or first that split second as you spit, then come up and do your move. Or you can kick right to the groin, kick into the thigh, or kick here, or really, you can even roundhouse kick. With any of the kicks that I showed you so far, but easily enough, just boom, kick there, and then come around and do that movement. Also, from here, that generally covers it, because you don't want to try and outpeel somebody who's this strong. But I went to generally this side, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't come to this side either. It's the same thing. What you're doing is you're twisting him up and taking him off of balance. As long as he doesn't know what your plan is, his plan is getting messed up. So I think that covers everything. Balls, rolls. Yep, that's it. Thanks.